bottom or the end, but
Yeah.
you could also turn it over and do the same thing and call that the top. You'd have to use your imagination.
Yeah. Malkuth's and Kethers. Kethers and Malkuth.
Yeah, so that I always thought that kingdom is the whole big thing.
Okay.
So that doesn't appear really. You have to start from there, in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the kingdom. We didn't make it. It made us. So if you think of yourself as starting there and going up, you end with the crown at the top, with the fool, and then the magician and the high priestess.
I really loved your perspective on the interrelationships between those three in your book. Actually, I could really see that tradition very strongly in there from Paul Foster Case and the Golden Dawn, and through and the way it developed to people like you, bringing some very interesting insights.
And then the one that I would most identify with, if I had to be one, would be this one.
High Priestess. Well, this is your Temple of Isis. You're the founder of it.
And it's blue.
You remember that day in the office? You said to me, it was late at night, and you said, we were talking about something, Mormonism or something, and you said, could you imagine someone starting their own religion? And I said to you, I was like, but that's what you did. And you're like, I did?
Well, yes and no.
Well,
it's ancient.
it happened so long ago, but it's still here. They just took off the word union when they reincorporated, right? You were Union Temple of Isis. Because union was a very popular thing in the Christian church world during the 70s. A lot of churches were saying, we're not united, we're not Presbyterian, we're union churches, and that was a whole movement from even earlier than that. Saying,
where on the planet? In the United States?
Yeah, in Canada as well, North America. Yeah, the union churches and the idea of union theology.
Listening to that then.
You're probably thinking divine union. Actually, I think you actually mentioned it in High Magic, why you called it union originally. And then Lady Lorien here on this property took off that when they reincorporated it for some reason.
Yeah, well, to me, I mean, everything. Union, this is all,
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
What you might call good, bad, indifferent, everything, it doesn't matter. It's all one world until you depart from it.
Amen.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to heaven.
Tell me more about looking forward to heaven.
Well, when you get to heaven, all the people that you've ever loved through all your lifetimes are there to greet you. So if you've had a good time with a lot of people through all your lifetimes, there's a happy crowd, and everybody may have a drink or two and hug each other.
Yeah.
Maybe some kisses with some people that you think are really super kissable.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking.
You do?
You're thinking of Jason.
In fact, I'm pretty I can't be sure, but I believe he'll be there when I get there.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys seem definitely to be soulmates despite the... Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we would talk about that. We wouldn't really say it, but he had feelings for me that way too.
Well, yeah, but it was those days you just didn't leave your wife back then, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's what you told me once. I think you told me once he wasn't in love with his wife, but back then you just didn't leave, and he wasn't the kind of person to do that. He was a very honorable man. and he saw that as part of the honor
Yeah.
back then. Because back in those days, you didn't get
He
divorced
didn't,
much.
he didn't ask her to marry him.
Right, he sort of, yeah.
It just, I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, sometimes,
The parents on both sides.
yeah, sort of an arranged thing. The good
That
old
was
days.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, it was arranged marriage from when they were kids. You told me, yeah. Amazing. And he honored it his whole life.
See, that's a lovable guy.
That's a lovable guy.
And we knew it. I mean, even though he was, quote, married to someone, we could feel
Well, yeah,
the special connection.
yeah. You guys worked a lot together for decades. It's impressive. Yeah. I've had some teachers I wish I could have worked with weekly for decades, but you get the time you get. Like us.
Yeah.
You get the time we get.
And, then we get other lifetimes.
Yeah. I'll see you in the spirit realms for sure. We will do some dances, sing some songs, and make some reality.
Okay, I want to do cartwheels.
I think you can do multi-dimensional cartwheels, especially in some of those realms. You can do a cartwheel where your being turns in upon itself, transforms, becomes 10,000 other things, spreads out across time and space, and then reunites. Why not, right?
Why not?
Why not? Makes sense to me. That makes more sense to me than leapfrogging through reincarnated lifetimes.
I like to go visiting various stars. Did you know? I forget where I learned this, but it was very put into me by inside all the globes are living beings. Earth has a people. It's hollow inside.
Yes, a lot of people believe that.
Yeah, I read someone who wrote about he had been there.
He'd been there.
Yeah.
The subterranean world. This is the sublunar, and there must be a subterranean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where the fairies live, under the earth,
Yes.
under the
yes,
sheet.
Yes. The fairies had their own place inside the big circle. They had their own special fairiness. But this person who actually was there wrote a book about it, and I was totally convinced and decided I want to go too. I'm going to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was your connection and interest in Matthew? You talk about the prophetic speaker, the modern prophet Matthew. You quote him a lot in your book and talk about him. Was he a young guy who was channeling or
Yeah.
a walk-in or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Did you ever meet
He was
him?
more red.
I don't know his lifetime when he lived here. Was he a contemporary with you?
Sorry, Matthew, might not be memory.
Oh, that's all right. That's why you wrote it down and published it. That's why you fucking published it, right?
Do I have a book like that?
I'm sure it's peppered throughout that. You have a chapter on Matthew in High Magic that I read out, and people have literally thousands and thousands of hours have been spent by people listening to your High Magic book, which is of course sadly out of print, but now is a auditory form available for listeners, and maybe there'll be a petition to get to Tracy and Isis House Publishing to republish it.
Not likely.
Why not?
That's a
Did
joke.
Tracy just republished her book, The Mysteries of Isis, and that's a book I was looking at on the shelves from the early '90s on, and yeah. So, never say never. I'm gonna make sure when I'm back in Canada we get your tarot for self-realization put out, and maybe your coloring book too, even if it's just in whatever form I can manage to make it happen. However it happens. We just have to talk with your daughter to make sure that it links up to, her account, your estate. You have to decide who you want your royalties to go to one day in the future. Do you want to send them to Boda?
No, I think I've done that.
You could donate them all to Justin. Reverend Justin could receive your royalties for the next 50 years. Or you could send them to Builders of the Adytum. Or you could send them to Bernie Sanders and Cenk Uygur. I know you like those guys for some reason.
I'm pretty sure that Sharon and I sat down and
Worked it out already? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll text with her and we'll make sure that it gets sorted out properly.
okay.
Yeah. But we got to get that Tarot for Self-Realization out there. I love that book, and no one's ever read it. I think I'm the only person who has read it, other than you, who wrote it. So that's really cool. All right. You want to say farewell to
Really?
our...
Nobody else ever read it?
I don't know. That only you would know that.
I think few people.
I'm sure you circulated the manuscript, yeah.
Yeah, I was teaching that stuff.
Well, that's what's amazing about
Ongoing
that,
basis.
your Tarot for Self-Realization, right? It really is the final thing, real solid book you wrote, and it is really the accumulation of your whole lifetime of teaching, everything you absorbed from the spoken Kabbalah with Jason Lauderhan, and all your other books. That's it, right? You're probably not going to write another 100 or 200 page book.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get that thing done one way or the other. People want that.
That'd be great. I don't even know where my copy is now.
Well, I think I have it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
then it exists.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to make some copies of that, and you have also it on your computer. Yeah.
Now I have this image of myself when I can.
You have the files broken up into different segments that aren't all in one place is the problem, and the printout is all in one place. So it's probably faster for me to retype it than it is for you to go through all those Word documents and piece it together again. That's what we found out with your daughter last time, trying to go through all the files. Yeah, so it'll probably be faster for me actually just to type it all out. Yeah, while I'm quarantining up in the mountains of the Great White North. Do you want to say farewell to our fans and listeners and everyone who loves you? And there's been lots of comments about you from people over the last month as I did your book. Any words of wisdom to send to people?
Do what you love.
Amen.